We're not making you wait, folks.
We
are back.
You did it.
On Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS. It's the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John, the radio digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette and Free Classifieds. And it's the first week that he's missed in a long time, but usually Robert Patrick Lewis has a column in the Gazette, and I'm sure we'll have one next week. Right, Robert?
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow. No pressure. And what will that column be on as of right now?
Hey, Robert, listen. John and I were thinking about starting a foundation, just the Doug and John Foundation, and just have people give us money, and we're going to say that it's going to go to good cause. Will that work?
Well, that's one of the big things about a foundation is a certain percentage of the income has to go to some kind of social good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the great thing about it. Foundations don't pay taxes. So, you hear about the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Clinton Foundation, a lot of these things. It's not about how much money you have. It's about how much money you control. And so the foundation can have $50 billion in it. So IKEA is owned by a foundation. That foundation doesn't pay taxes as long as they pay a certain amount of money to different charities.
And just like a charity, any charity, there's no limit on what you can hold or what you can't hold. All that has to happen is you have to disclose it when asked.
Within a foundation?
Well, like a charity. Foundations, I think there's a percentage.
Depends on the charity, depends on where it is, because there's, there are American tax rules for 501c3s and different things like that, but there are also global charities that have different types of rules for what you have to disclose, what you have to do.
Right. And it's because I always thought a fraudulent charity is a great scam. You hire some people to stand out in front of Food for Less to collect money to donate shoes for kids in Tijuana, and you buy one pair of shoes for a kid in Tijuana, and you fulfilled your obligation unless somebody asks, and then you have to disclose properly.
Right. There are a lot of shady organizations out there. That's an unfortunate thing we've seen in the veteran community. After 9/11, there are a lot of organizations that started up and spend more money on their own pocketbooks than they actually do on helping those who they claim to help.
Exactly.
And it's a pretty pathetic state of affairs.
Yeah. Well, speaking of shady organizations, let's talk about the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah.
Whoa. Segway John is back. That was just way too easy. Come on now. Really? Aren't you paying for access to a former president, a sitting Secretary of State? What foreign nationalist is not going to want to pay for that?
Yeah, you're right, exactly. And I mean, that's, again, when you talk about shady organizations, it seems that's the entire purpose of the Clinton Foundation. And the entire article that, I wrote a week or two ago, and I had picked up, different things in the Wall Street Journal. Somebody had written an article that the reason we don't really hold Hillary Clinton accountable is because we just expect them to be corrupt.
Yeah.
And it's a sad state of affairs that somebody that is that well known for lying and being corrupt and her just dirty tactics can run for president and be a viable contender. That's a sad state of affairs.
It goes back to John's
viable. Heck, people are going to vote for her. She's more than viable.
And it's a shame. It really is a shame. I mean, gone are the days when we actually had the best and brightest vying for that position. Now it's just the megalomaniac and the corrupt that actually sit up and will go for that.
Sounds like a really bad rock group.
Folks, we're talking to Robert Patrick Lewis, author, former Green Beret, and all the other national correspondent for the Gazette Radio Hour.
Relatively decent person.
Columnist for the Gazette. But listen, Robert, let me ask you this. Shouldn't somebody grow half a brain and look into this? I mean, the State Department or Attorney General, shouldn't somebody with the emails, this foundation, shouldn't somebody look into it?
Well, that's the downside, is that the whole reason we have these different parts of our government is to prevent corruption and to prevent exactly what's going on right now, right? It should be a thing where these different levels of government that we have no bias and are completely willing to look into each other. But unfortunately, when we're in a Democratic administration like we are right now, an administration that, the current president ran on this the most transparent White House in history, and they just exempted themselves from Freedom of Information Acts, right? So you have this administration that all they want, all the DNC wants, and they've wanted it for the last several years, is for Hillary to be the next president. And it's not even just a Democratic thing. They want Hillary to be the next president, and they're doing everything they can. And it's to the point where it's like they're trying to spit shine, a trash from the side of the highway, but they're doing everything they can to put lipstick on that pig. And so they're going to do everything they can and pull out every stop to try and keep her already disgusting and tarnished reputation, whatever it has to be, to at least get her in the presidency.
At some point, is the Democratic Party going to turn on her, though, if this stuff keeps piling on?
I don't know. You would think. I mean, I really do think, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Because, for us, we look at this and go, how? Why would you even, who would donate money to the DNC when they know that money is going towards this person's campaign? But if you look at her competitors, Bernie Sanders, really? I mean, a self-avowed socialist and communist is her competition.
But what did we point out the other day? He announced that one of his plans was to make four-year colleges free. As people are graduating four-year colleges in debt. I would have been like, dude, I'm not voting for you. You should have done this 4 years ago.
Yeah, well, and this guy, he just doesn't know.
I
don't know. And it is, again, it's sad. For me, I've always had this idea that if you make more money than me, I want to see the reason. And now we're getting to the point where we're seeing that politicians, it really is scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
With people that just have no ability to do anything besides look good in a press photo and essentially lie.
Hey, real quick, I don't know the guy, but what about the former mayor of Baltimore? Is he viable?
Whatever happened to? We're going to take a break, Doug.
Oh yeah,
we've got him for another full segment.
Okay, but there's other stuff I want to talk to him about.
I know, but there's people who we've got to pay advertisers.
Let's just talk like we pretend nobody's listening to us.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Hey, Robert, you can come back, right?
Yeah, I'll be right here.
All right, you're listening to Gazette Radio with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Cruz hometown station, and now we'll be right back after these commercials.
We're back, everybody, on Santa Cruz's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS. It's the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John, the radio digest version of the Santa Cruz Gazette and Free Classifieds. We're talking to our national correspondent and a Gazette columnist and an author of The Pact, Mr. Robert Patrick Lewis.
Are we reading hardbound versions of that book yet there, Doug?
No, it's out, though, right, Robert?
It is out, yeah. I sold a bunch of them this weekend in Houston.
Ah, there you go.
Hey, did you get washed away in Houston?
No, I had to I went to Galveston for a Lone Survivor Foundation event where I, signed some books and took a lot of pictures and things like that. And I had to go from there to New York City, and I think the rain started about 3 hours after my plane.
Wow, good timing.
All right, so Doug was talking to you about Martin O'Malley. We're not going to do this. We're not going to go into individual candidates. I'm still convinced, Doug, it's not going to matter. I don't care who you elect. It's not going to matter. Ronald Reagan's not walking through the door. None of the Republicans are worth a salt.
Ted Cruz is.
A salt lick. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me, Robert, there's no hope for the United States as a world power anymore, is there?
I don't know. There's always a chance that somebody will have a string of conscience. The only problem is the corruption is so ingrained in our society now. It's so ingrained into every house of our political system that it wouldn't just take one. Just one person can't do it. We have to have some kind of rebirth of honesty. And honestly, it'll be an uphill battle. I don't know where it's going to come from. I think Rand Paul, I think Ted Cruz, I think the two of them are the best contenders that we have. Of course, the establishment hates them. And so that's kind of an issue. Even if the people love them, the establishment's going to do everything they can. Fox News isn't even putting Rand Paul on their polls. And even when he's at the top of their polls, they put him at the bottom. So
Why
it's
is
kind
that?
of ridiculous.
Why is that?
Because they want Jeb Bush. They want Jeb Bush, even though the only thing a Jeb Bush campaign is going to do is rehash every question about the Iraq war we've had. The guy is against every actual Republican ideal. He's a rhino. He's a neocon rhino, and he's not with this country.
All right, I got a dark horse for you.
Yeah.
For president. Sepp Blatter.
Who?
The president of FIFA. If we're going corrupt, let's do it right.
Yeah, well, he can legislate from his jail cell, so I think maybe that'll work.
He probably will go untouched. All right, let's change the subject.
Hey, Robert,
we're changing the subject, Doug.
I know.
This is depressing.
I'm ready.
Pick something better.
What's going on with China and those islands and our Navy?
Yeah, well,
Can you explain that?
Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, go ahead.
It's a scary thing. So Singapore's been doing this for a very long time, where they actually recycle their trash and build more landmass. So they're increasing the size of their island. China's kind of been doing the same thing, where they've been building these islands in the South China Sea, and they actually started militarizing them. So we started doing flyovers a couple weeks ago, to which China responded in a very hostile fashion, essentially telling us to knock it out, guys. So now they've got picture servicing that China has been starting to send mobile artillery to those islands.
Oh, jeez.
And we're sending warships in kind to respond. And again, it's just one of these situations where we're poking the bear. Well, I guess Russia would be the bear.
Yeah,
so we're poking the panda bear.
The panda
and,
bear.
A mean panda
we
bear.
honestly,
That's such a cute little panda bear.
we're barking a lot louder than our bite right now because we're
We don't have a bite.
Yeah, well, we have a bite, but they're otherwise they're deployed in other places. You know, we're in the midst of drastically reducing the size of our army and our military and provoking the largest standing army in the world.
Why don't we just build a wall, figuratively and literally, around the United States and say, the rest of the world, enjoy?
Yeah, that'd be nice, but bombers don't really have any problems.
Well, no, that's part of the wall. You don't cross our wall.
You don't cross our wall. Yeah, but it's just like Obama's line in the sand with Iran. You know, I think everybody kind of knows by this point that no matter what he says and no matter what his lackey lapdog generals say, we're not going to respond. We're not going to actually do anything. He'll just back off again whenever they cross that.
Hey, Robert, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Hey, Robert,
I can handle the truth.
I don't remember who it was, but a commentator might have been. There's somebody on Fox News saying that we are perilously close to World War III. Do you agree with that?
I do, and that's the unfortunate thing is that a lot of our enemies are getting together very close. So China and North Korea are doing military exercises together now, right? North Korea I mean, they're just North Korea. They're doing what they've been doing for a long time. Iran and Russia are close. China and Russia are close. Essentially, everybody that has a bone to pick with the United States is getting very, very close. We're decimating our military. Hey, what a surprise. Just like the last Democratic, Bill Clinton did, they're decimating the military. They're doing everything they can to destroy the morale. They're talking about reducing housing allowances for the military. They're doing everything they can to destroy what we have as the strongest standing army and provoking other armies, right? And setting up kind of the chess pieces for us to fail if we do actually go to war.
Yeah, and who ultimately pays the price? You know, we do, and our kids and our grandkids, right? That's where it's really going to catch up to us.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing. And that's, you know, for about the last 5 or 6 years, I've had this idea that it's like the rats getting off a sinking ship, you know, like they're trying to just hoard and steal and find all the cheese they can before they jump in the lifeboats. And that's what I see a lot of these politicians doing. They're being more and more forward with their corruption and with everything they're doing. It just seems like they're trying to steal and rape and pillage everything they can from this country out of their political office before they jump ship.
Because our current president, he's going to be out of there in 2 years, and he's going to be living a life of luxury.
Of course.
And he's not going to care what happens.
All right, Robert, you got 30 seconds. Cheer me up.
Well, it's a bright and sunny day.
Again with the stupid weather. You and Doug are going to go to the beach together or something. Oh, jeez. Yeah, but that doesn't cheer me up because Doug can't water his grass. He's going to be complaining about brown spots.
Yeah, well, you know, that's funny. So, yeah, you can't water your grass, but the state of California can spend, 37 million gallons to get 27 fish to the ocean?
Amen, brother.
All right, so you haven't cheered me up.
And we don't want to waste oil, but Obama can fly around continuously wasting thousands of gallons a day.
All right, you're not cheering me up. Tell me something good like, hey, John, there's the plot right next to my compound is for sale. That would cheer me up.
That's not happening because I can't tell anybody.
Yeah, I know.
Robert Patrick Lewis, everybody. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Enjoy the sun, John.
Yeah. All right, you listen to Gazette Radio Hour. This could be our very last show. And we're doing of our own, though. You're on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clarita's hometown station, and we'll be back maybe.